To wealth management, Schwab is dedicated to giving investors more choices. More at schwab.com.
Cubans are fleeing their country in droves. Around 400,000 Cubans came to the U.S. over the last 2 years. This wave has a lot to do with a deteriorating economic situation on the island. Guillermo Grenier is here to help us understand what's happening. He's a professor of sociology at Florida International University. Welcome.
Great to be here.
So Cuba has lost 4% of its population in 2 years as people leave. You just got back from a trip there. What is happening there that is driving so many people to leave?
It's primarily an economy that just cannot get back to pre-2020 levels. And what's worse is there's no plan in sight. People are every day having a very rough time finding just the basics. Things are bad, but there seems to be a new sense of hopelessness.
In so many places, there was a big comeback, economically speaking, after the pandemic. Why did that not happen in Cuba?
It's a multitude of reasons. Since the 1990s, we've had two currencies where you have one for tourists, in essence, and the one that Cubans live their national economic lives with, the peso cubano. Economists from all over the world have been telling them, you have to unite this currency. This is ridiculous. Well, they did it, but they did it right in the middle of the pandemic. So inflation just went rampant. And then you had the fact that the economy had doubled down on tourism. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic was there and they had one trick pony economy and it didn't snap back. Since they doubled down on tourism, all other sectors of the economy suffered. I mean, Cuba's importing just about every food product that finally makes it into the street if it does.
To return for a moment to this exodus of people, how is the Cuban government responding to that?
So now they're thinking of immigration. Number one is a problem, which is kind of new in the sense that before there was always some justification, either blaming the U.S. policies of receiving how we receive Cubans, but now they see it as a problem. And then now they're saying, how can we maintain in touch with these folks that are leaving? It's not unusual to have expats that live in other countries. For Cuba it is, but in general in the world, that's a phenomenon that's been, long understood. Now they want to establish that link between the expat community, the diaspora community, and the country. The gut instinct is correct. I'm doing interviews of new arrivals here, and it's clear that their motivation to leave is dominantly economics. Economics in Cuba is not that separate from the government, given it's a centralized economy. So they blame the government for them having to leave, but it's because of economic reasons. And they're immediately thinking of how to do business back in Cuba. The bright side of this huge immigration is that in the long run, it might actually benefit the Cuban economic development.
Cuba is not what you might call a market-embracing or market-oriented economy. Is the government there equipped with the tools necessary to kind of get out of this?
Well, the short answer is probably no. Right now, there is a sense that the folks that want more opening up at the economy particularly have a leg up because the situation is so dire that folks are beginning to think somewhat outside the box. And creating these small business enterprises, the MIPYMES, that is a big step forward, and they are growing. There is a class structure being developed, not as quickly as during the Obama years, but even now you do have these private sector enterprises that are beginning to grow.
Guillermo Grenier is professor of sociology in the Department of Global and Sociocultural Studies at Florida International University. Professor Grenier, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We've got a lot more from that interview on our website and podcast. In New York, I'm Sabri Ben-Achour with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.